What makes the top of horrific things you experience dealing with a narcissist list likely varies from person to person, but there is a strong chance that somewhere close to the top for most of us is that no matter how hard you tried, and after all you endured, you are then guilt-ridden into believing that everything they did and all issues pertaining to why this relationship failed land in your lap and your lap alone. Then, to make this particular matter worse, ultimately exacerbating these feelings of being responsible while you're trying to put the pieces together and make some sort of sense over what in the fuck just happened here. Time and time again, you are confronted with this often indirect message implying that the only reason you were ever made fool of is due to your being a codependent, stemming from the unresolved issues from the trauma that you received during childhood. So now, regardless whether or not you've had some distance from the narcissist, giving you some time to heal, or someone who is still in the midst of this relationship, hanging on to the last speck of hope that there's got to be some alternative explanation as to what is going on with this person, yourself, and keeping your fingers and toes crossed that you will find some way to fix this relationship to make it better. Either way, this message reiterates the sense of your being responsible for the abuse that you received. Like, for example, I recently saw a video where they go in to say that it is due to our unhealed trauma from childhood that leads one to attract and be attracted to a narcissist in the first place. Then go on to say that whether or not you perceived your childhood as being traumatic or felt that you endured trauma growing up, that you did because every single person experiences this during their childhood nonetheless. So after highlighting and emphasizing that no one escapes childhood without trauma, then proceed with saying that you will never, ever find yourself involved or get into a relationship with a narcissist unless your childhood was one to which trauma occurred. And honestly, I'm not even sure if the person giving the message even realizes that they're contradicting their whole point.
The childhood trauma or being codependent increases the risk factor of you attracting or being involved with a narcissist if everyone is at equal risk due to us all experiencing this trauma.
But what most take from this message is that due to my being codependent, I attracted this narcissist to me, inviting them into my life to abuse me, not even touching on the fact that you cannot manipulate someone who knows they are being manipulated. And therefore, if these masters of manipulating others were able to successfully fool you, it was because you did not know you were being manipulated. And if you didn't know or had no way of seeing it coming, your getting fooled is not indicative of your being foolish or anything to do with fault of your own. Rather, because these people are masters at manipulation, who not only fool and seek out the weak, vulnerable, and codependent, but can fool and prefer to prey on the strong, confident, well-rounded individuals, even fooling the best psychiatrist and therapist alike. Because the bottom line is that human beings, as a species, are social creatures that are dependent upon other humans for their survival. And one of the biggest contributors to what defines the human experience is our intersubjective understanding, allowing us to be able to relate with others and put ourselves into their shoes, regardless if we have ever experienced the same thing ourselves, which in all essence is empathy. Narcissists do not have this. It is within the lack of their having intersubjective understanding, lack of empathy, and a lack of object constancy, which makes the ways they think and behave completely ass backwards to that of the average person, as well as in the way that they perceive others in comparison to themselves, based off of nothing but their delusions. And as such, they are always on the hunt, looking for this delusionally perfect relationship in efforts to fill the void that they have from having absolutely no core identity of their own, along with a total disregard for others' feelings and their expectations being so unrealistic. Every one of their relationships fails yet refusing to accept accountability or take ownership to their wrongdoings, as that would break them free from their delusion. Instead, they end up forever spinning in their twisted, morally fucked up cycle of chaos, sucking the life from one to the next, trying to fill the void, completely oblivious to the fact that the bucket they're using for collecting is filled with nothing but holes. Narcissists do not spare anyone from their trying to target as a source of supply. And if they are able to take control of your mind, it doesn't matter if you were the most confident, strong, well-rounded individual on this planet entering into the relationship with them. Once these people are done with you, you will feel soul-shattered and confused out of your mind as to exactly how your life has turned into a fairy tale from the crypt, yet all the while feel like your chances of survival are dependent upon this person who is now intentionally trying to destroy you because you failed to meet the expectations of their delusional kind of fucking perfect or uphold their fantasy-driven requirements that they deliberately set up to see to it you would fail, because that would eliminate any risk of your coming off appearing better than they, while they have zero remorse or mercy for the things that they have done to you, because in their eyes, it's your fault. You did not ask for this. You most certainly did not deserve it. Nor did you have any idea at the beginning that these demonic con artists on steroids were going to dupe you into a relationship to which they would brain fuck you to the point you no longer would be able to think straight or remember who you are, just so they could take advantage of you, feel in control, and keep their delusional self up and going. None of that was your fault. None of it. And well, look, we all have our own issues, things that we can work on, and areas in our life to which we can improve upon. No question about it. There is enough to have to overcome after enduring narcissistic abuse, that being guilt-ridden and plagued by the thought that it was your fault that this occurred does not need to be one of them, as well as it only hindering your chances to be able to fully heal as you get strung up on being able to trust your own judgment, because they want you to remain in constant fear, keeping yourself isolated, though they are never going to change because they are devoted to staying broken. That does not mean that you can't heal, get your life, your sanity, and your freedom back. That these people absolutely zero right to have ever taken from you. Do not give them the satisfaction of letting them take you out for good on fixing and healing you. Get back that life that you were born to live and undoubtedly deserve. Focus on you. Fuck the narcissist.